Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another edition right here on Shelby 85. This is Sports and Beer. Today we will be talking, of course, about where we left off as we usually do. We will, of course, be talking about the NBA. We'll be getting into some lacrosse as well. This is not going to be a terribly long episode. It's going to be actually a pretty quick episode for you guys today, so let's dive into it and get this thing kicked off right now, shall we? So in the NBA, I made some predictions about last Wednesday's games. Let's go over these and see who won and see how I was right. Well, first game was the Hornets versus the Cavs. I, of course, called the Cavs to win this game, and boom, they did. But it wasn't a huge sweep for the Cavs. Of course, the Cavs only won 114 to 103. Cavs versus the Hornets. Now, as usual, like the Cavs do, they of course played a great game, as they always do. They're, of course, my pick for top four going into the finals. Of course, we still have 6 weeks of gameplay, so really anything can happen in that amount of time. Now, the second game was the Knicks versus the Pacers. Now, I picked the Pacers to win this game, which, of course, again, I was right on the money on that one. The Pacers ended up winning. The Knicks ended up losing. The game was 108-105 for the Pacers. Now, again, a pretty close game. I mean, Pacers are the better team in my mind in that matchup. I mean, the Knicks are not that great. They never have been, and they never will be, let's face it. Of course, the third game was the 76ers versus the Pistons. Now, of course, I took the Pistons because who would take the goddamn 76ers? Nobody. Pistons won 111 to 91. So, I mean, it was a pretty big gap on that one. The Warriors versus the Heat. Now, I figured that the Warriors would actually win this game, but I ended up calling the Heat to win it because the Miami Heat is, in fact, as you all know, my favorite team. And, well, of course, the Warriors won that. Not a sweep in that one either. Warriors won 118 to 112. Was definitely a close game. Miami Heat is a killer team, but, you know, let's face it, nobody's that great against the Warriors, at least not the past couple seasons. Now, the next game up on the docket was the Timberwolves versus the Raptors. Now, I took the Timberwolves to win this game because the Raptors are pure garbage, but unfortunately, that one I did get wrong. The Raptors won 115 to 105. Now, you know, the Raptors are actually a really good basketball team. They always have been, and they always will be as they get older. They're about 21 years old, so they're not that old, but, I mean, they are actually a really good basketball team. They'll never win a championship, though, but they're playing some good ball right now, that's for sure. Now, the next game was the Wizards versus the Bulls. Now, I took the Bulls to win this game, as they did. 104 to 109, not a big sweep. Now, the next game was the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. Now, I took the Grizzlies to win this because Lakers are dead last in the entire league, and I don't think they're going to win really any more games, let's face it. Grizzlies won 128 to 119. Now, the next game on the dock was Thunder versus the Mavericks. Now, I totally hate the Mavericks almost as much as I hate the Raptors. But Thunder won it. I don't really like the Thunder either, but I'll get into a little bit of that maybe on another show. Thunder won it 116 to 103. It was a pretty big sweep for them. Next game was Nuggets versus Clippers. Now, I did take the Clippers to win this because three main reasons why I took the Clippers to win this game. DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, CP3, Chris Paul. But of course, I was wrong again on this one. Nuggets won it 87 to Clippers 81. Now, the last game that I called was Spurs versus the Kings. Of course, the Spurs did win that one, which is what I called 108-92. Not too bad, actually. Not too bad. It wasn't a total sweep or anything like that. So a game I'm going to talk about is a game that's actually happening tonight, probably right now. It is Tuesday. The Heat versus the Bulls, and the reason why I'm going to talk about this is because we are 6 weeks left of the regular scheduled season before we get into playoff time. And the Heat really need to climb the ladder on this one. They need a W on this one, really. They need a W on pretty much all their games. I mean, the Heat once again lost Chris Bosh due to blood clotting issues. Last year, if you guys remember last season, Chris Bosh was out from around Thanksgiving time for the rest of the season. He came back this year. He had a blood clot in his lungs. He came back fully recovered, but now again he is of course out due to blood clotting issues again. Now the Miami Heat, they won the last 10 of their games against Eastern teams. They're of course set to play the Bulls last time. The Heat and the Bulls won. They actually only ended up meeting one other time, and the last time that they met, Heat ended up winning 89-84. So they beat them, but it wasn't really a huge sweep. Now, I am a fan of the Bulls. I think they're overrated. I think they do have a pretty good team. I think they went downhill in the last few years, but I think overall the Heat's going to win that game tonight. Let's see if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will come on the show next Tuesday and I will eat this pen. If I am wrong. That's right, I'll eat this very same pen if I'm wrong. But I won't be. Because the Heat's going to win it. So yeah, there's over 6 weeks, the Heat of course hope to climb. The Heat sit just behind Boston Celtics for the number 3 spot in the East, which I think the Heat is definitely going to come out with. They're definitely going to come out with the W. So let's jump on to lacrosse for a little bit, shall we, guys? So this game is, of course, in the National Lacrosse League. It is going to be Saturday, March 5th, at 9 o'clock p.m. This is, of course, the 38th game in their season. They have, of course, an 81-game season. Rochester versus Calgary. This is a away game for Rochester, home game for Calgary. Now, Calgary's last game they lost. They were at home. Rochester's last game they also lost, and it was another away game for them. Now, I am taking Rochester to win this, just because I don't think Calgary does have a very good team. I did see both teams in practice, and I think all the bigger, stronger, faster team is Rochester, so I'm taking Rochester to win that one. And let's run through a couple quick standings because nothing has shifted, but few teams have won, few teams have lost. In the East standings, of course, New England is still number 1 at 5 wins, 2 losses. Buffalo is at number 2 with 5 wins, 4 losses. Georgia is number 3 at 4 wins, 5 losses. Rochester is 3 wins, 4 losses, and Toronto is actually 2 and 6. Now in the West, Colorado sits at 7 wins and 2 losses. Saskatchewan sits at 5 wins, 3 losses. Vancouver sits at 3 wins, 5 losses. Calgary sits at 3 wins, 6 losses. Of course, that's going to change when game day comes for these guys. I'm going to take Rochester. And thank you guys for watching. Do not forget to tune in to next week's show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please do leave a comment because if you guys are watching this and and you want to keep it around the sports and beer, leave a comment, because I have to know if you guys like it, of course, for me to leave it a regular segment on the show. But till next time.